Hi, pod friends, it's me, Dave. Do you know what this week is? No, you probably don't know what this week is, but I'm going to tell you. It's the 7th anniversary of this dumb podcast. I started it back in 2015 because I had some jokes to make about Bernie Sanders running for president, and then I figured it'd be done in 6 weeks. We all know what happened. Anyway, the show's changed quite a bit since those early days. Now I really like doing the show instead of Rage do the show every week because the show's not about current events, but about pop cultures from the 70s, 80s, and 90s with a little 60s thrown in there for funsies. And I like doing that show a lot. It's a hell of a lot of fun, and I think that maybe you learn something, and I will continue to keep doing that show. Just not this week, because this week is something totally different because I'm tired of doing that other show right now. This show that you're about to listen to is a new podcast because when you're tired of writing all those episodes in a million plus words and 7 years of recording them, the only logical step is to do a second podcast. Yeah, this one's different though. It's completely different. It's about 90s country music with my friend Jerrod. Jerrod and I were in the military together, and we've known each other for 20 odd years, and we decided that we would do our own podcast talking about music that we sang karaoke to at a bar when we were stationed in Northern California. It's different, and if there's one thing I've learned from listening to podcasts is that middle-aged white guys talking about songs from when they were young is pretty much what most podcasts are, and I figure, why should I be different? This show will not be replacing What the Hell Were You Thinking in your feed. It is an addendum to it. It will come out once a month. We'll do a different song each month, Jerrod and I, and we'll talk a little bit about who made the song, how it rated, its popular impact, and we'll just generally riff about it because, again, middle-aged white guys riffing on songs from their youth, very much a podcast thing. So you can look forward to that popping up once a month, and if people like it, we'll spin it off into its own feed and do its own thing, and if people like it more than they like What the Hell Were You Thinking, I don't know what I'll do with that information. So here, now, for the very first time, is the Dowers Boys, a podcast about 90s country music with Jerrod and Dave. Hey, y'all, it's Ladies Night here at Kenny's Karaoke Castaway, where ladies get in free. And if y'all come up and show Dave, the karaoke DJ, just a little bit of cleavage, he bump your songs up to the top of the list. Every night is Ladies Night here at Kenny's Karaoke Castaway, so y'all come on down. And also, this here podcast is full of swears and filth and profanity, and y'all shouldn't even be listening. You should be ashamed of yourself. Well, hey there. If y'all been panning for 90s country gold, you come to the right place. One classic song per episode that Jerrod and Dave probably sung drunk in a rundown dive bar in Northern California. So grab your cowboy hat and pull up a bar stool for the Dowers Boys. Don't forget to put $1 in the smoking jar. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage at Dowers Tavern. Them Dowers Boys, Jerrod and Dave. What's it been, like 25 years since those words have been said?
Yeah, we could be going on 30. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. That's good. Good to be here with you. So I guess we should probably tell these people what the hell the conceit behind the Dowers Boys is. You want to try to explain it, or should I?
I'm going to leave that dark, dingy, cigarette-filled room all to you, buddy.
Well, that's okay, because I'm broadcasting from a dark, dingy, cigarette-filled room right now. Dowers Tavern in Yuba City, California was and is the last bar in the state of California that you can still smoke in, because Dowers said, fuck you to the state of California and just pays the fine. But at the same time, they also had a... Howling Moon Karaoke. Do you remember the guy's name?
Oh man, I remember the tip jar that you had to pay if you wanted to smoke in the bar.
Yep.
Yeah, what the hell was that guy's name?
I don't know. I almost bought that guy's karaoke setup.
That would have been awesome.
Because, you know, when I got out of the military, they for some reason gave me like $30,000 that I burned through in a year. And he's like, I'm thinking about getting out of the business. You want to buy it? And I was like, how much?
What was his offer?
I think he wanted $7,000 for it.
Jeez, man.
And well, yeah, okay, I see that. It was all the equipment, all of his songs, and the franchise to play there at Dowers. But yeah, I couldn't do it. I was like, even as high and drunk as I was in that year after I got out of the military, no, I'm not going to give you $7,000 for it.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're the karaoke guy at Dowers, like he was one step above us in the royalty.
Yeah, you know, all the fat women that we didn't sleep with.
Exactly. Went to the karaoke, you son of a bitch.
Dowers Tavern is a little hole in the wall tavern in a little hole in the wall town in Northern California that the only thing that the town or that bar had going for it is it just didn't give a shit. So that's why we named it. And Jerrod and I, when we were in the military stationed out there at beautiful Beale Air Force Base, the base so nice that they put cows on it to give you something to look at for the long years that you were stationed there. So that's where we would go because we literally had no place else to go. But they had a great karaoke DJ.
Remember the sign, the best little bar in the worst little city? Fun fact, boys and girls, Yuba City routinely voted worst city in America.
Well, there was a good reason for that at the time, although, you know what? I was doing a whole other thing for my other show, my other podcast, where I was researching this thing called these guys called the Yuba County Five that disappeared from Yuba City back in the 70s. And now Yuba City is like one of the top 100 places in the country to live. So you actually get back there from time to time.
Unfortunately. I mean,
yeah, well, you know, I'm
good reason, but yeah, it's.
So have you been there any time in the last, say, 10 years to Dowers?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I retired out of there for one, and then I was just back.
Oh, that's right, because you went back to Beale before. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so that was my last base in the Air Force, first and last. What a treat for me.
Oh, there's such balance in nature. Mm-hmm. So I guess we should tell people what this podcast is about. And, well, it's pretty simple, wouldn't you say?
I would.
It's 90s country. And the reason it's about 90s country is, well, that's pretty much the country that I know the best. What about you?
Absolutely the country I know the best. Obviously, I grew up in a household that listened to nothing but country music. So, yeah, I carried that into the 90s with me. And then, obviously, in the 90s, I found other music. But I will tell you, I think that 90s country is where country died. So... Yeah, that's an interesting, and that's kind of why I wanted to pick the song that we're going to do this week, because I kind of consider it the bookend of 90s country. I mean, it wasn't even released in the 90s, which I found that shocking when I went back and started researching this song. It was released in December of 2000. Yeah, or late 2000s. I remember I knew it wasn't 90s because I saw Travis Tritt in concert in 90. Oh, boy, I'm going to date myself here.
I think they're already figured out that we're dating ourselves by the very topic of this show.
This is obviously one of his more popular songs, and that was not on the playbill. I saw him, just 5 years ago, and this was actually the song he closed with.
Yeah, it has become his like signature song, according to all the research that I did while we were planning this show. And it really, to me, it does kind of sum up the end of 90s country music, because 90s country music was happy.
It was absolutely happy, and even when it was sad, it was happy. It wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It's like something happened, I don't know, in like late 2001 that turned country music all, I don't know, just really angry. I can't imagine what might have happened sometime around September of 2001 that just got country musicians all pissed off.
Yeah, I'm trying to, I don't know, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, people probably don't remember that today.
Right.
The song that we are talking about, ladies and gentlemen, is by one Mr. James Travis Tritt. And do you know why they call him Travis?
I do not.
Well, let me play you a little clip that'll let you know.
I'm visiting with Travis Tritt. Is that your real name?
Yes, it is.
Are you often asked that?
All the time. All the time. People, it sounds so much like a stage name. But when I first came to Warner Brothers, there was a big controversy about Randy Travis being on the same label. They tried to change the name. They thought about it for a long time, talked about a lot of different things.
Oh, because your first name is Travis.
Well, actually, my first name is James. My full name is James Travis Tritt. And they were a little bit concerned that people might confuse the two of us because, the Travis in there.
That's the kind of crack research you guys can expect from this podcast, folks, that I will play an interview that I found on YouTube.
And what a great interview it was.
It was riveting. Trust me, I saw a lot of riveting interviews with Travis, who not a great interview, especially when he was early days. So I guess people are probably, if they haven't figured it out already, the song that we're talking about is Travis Tritt's 2000 song, Great Day to Be Alive, which I don't know. It's my favorite Travis Tritt song. I mean, there were some great ones. There's TROUBLE. Here's a Quarter. But this one, damn, it's the one that grabbed me.
It is. It's a great song. Like you said, it's arguably become his signature hit. That first album, though, had some bangers. You named them. But yeah, this is the one that, now when I think about Travis Tritt, this is the song I think about without a doubt.
Yeah, exactly. So licensing when we're talking about doing a podcast like this, always a fun thing because technically we're breaking the law if you play a clip. However, from 7 years of podcasting, I have learned that if you play a song from YouTube of someone covering the song that you really want to play, the algorithm doesn't catch it. So it's a little bit of sophistry, but would you like to hear a little bit of a guy named by the name of Dustin Lynch covering this song and doing a pretty good job of it?
Oh, yeah. And for those of you at home that don't know, Dustin Lynch is a phenomenal cover artist. Work your magic, Dave.
Do y'all know how to howl? Woo! Give me an howl. I got the rice cooking in the microwave. Don't plan to sing this. Beat the game up, just gotta say, hey, I do it all right. Yeah, I think I'll make you some homemade soup. I'm feeling pretty good, yeah, that's the truth. Just need to drink the drug and do some no. She's doing all right. 'Cause it's a great day to be alive. I know the sun still shines when I close my eyes. There's some hard times in the neighborhood. Why can't every day be just as good?
Yeah.
It's been 16 years since I left home. I singing love to every seed I saw. Gave you my best and then I left it alone. I hope they're doing all right. Yeah, I look in the mirror and what do I see? A lone wolf there staring back at me. I'll get the two, but almost has to be. Lord, I hope it's doing all right. It's a great day to be alive. I know the sun still shining when I close my eyes.
It's just a great song.
It is. It is a great song. And taking Friends in Low Places off the table, give me a more fun song to sing out loud.
You should see the video I took that from because it's nothing but a sea of white people in bikinis and bathing suits just singing their happy little white people hearts out. It's beautiful, really.
The redneck anthem.
Yeah, it is. It is one of the top 5 redneck anthems. And if the podcast gods are willing, we're going to cover them all.
Awesome.
But there is one dark thing about that song, and I want to ask you if you've ever thought about this.
So I have, and I mean, if you look at the lyrics, it does go to a dark place, right? And obviously, you're talking about the long in the tooth, the 15 years. What have I done?
Yeah, it kind of implies that maybe he's abandoned a family out there.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I think it's the next one down. He talks about sometimes it's lonely, it's only me, right? And the shadows. He's
like an old guy in a trailer, which I identify with. I'm not in a trailer, but but if you put a trailer on the 3rd floor of a Harlem apartment, it would be a trailer.
Excellent.
I don't know. But this song, man, when it first came out, I was in a super dark place in my life. I don't know about you. You were probably doing all right. You were still in the military. You still had like friends and life choices and stuff like that.
Yeah, 2000s. I was actually, because this song came out pre 9/11. So I was in Izmir, Turkey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
the dream in the Mediterranean.
As people always say about Turkey, they're living the dream in the Meds. So. But yeah, I'd been out of the military for a couple of years, and at the time, I was working the most redneck job of them all. I was a store detective in a Walmart.
Oh, loss prevention professional, huh?
A loss prevention professional. And as bad as any of you listening out there might think being a store detective at a Walmart is, I assure you, it was worse.
I instantly want to think of top flight security of the world, Craig.
I was a segue away from being a mall cop.
Yes, Dave Blart, Walmart cop.
I had a guy. The day that I quit that job was when a guy beat the shit out of me over a Nintendo controller in the garden center of a Walmart, and I realized this is not the life I want to live. And as I'm going to the hospital, this song is on the radio, and I'm like, well, I guess that'll be all right, won't it?
Awesome. That's perfect. Yeah.
Just blood streaming from my face, just like, well, if Travis is okay, I'll be okay too.
Our parents needed this song when they were fighting for Cabbage Patch Kids in the 80s.
Oh, God. Yeah, we're really going to have kid appeal here. These references. So I got a little background on the song. I did my research, as I'm wont to do. And it was written by a guy named Daryl Scott, who originally wrote it back in the early 1990s, making it very much a 90s song. And it was passed around through a whole bunch of country artists through most of the 90s. John Randall recorded it, and then the band called the Sky Kings in the mid-90s. But then it finally found its way to Travis, who recorded it in 2000, like we said. And Travis did all right with this song.
Absolutely. Daryl Scott, great country music songwriter. He was on a real heater in the 90s and early 2000s. He wrote stuff for the Dixie Chicks, Daryl Worley, Daddy Lessons for Beyonce.
Hey, kids, that's one for you.
Yeah, I want to say he wrote a Faith Hill song too. Yeah, that guy, very good songwriter. And like you said, Travis turned this into
an
arguably one of the biggest songs of the era, I would say, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's again, top 5 redneck songs of all time. Definitely. I don't know the other 4 right off the top of my head. I mean, other than Friends in Low Places, that's number 1. But this is 2 or 3 easily. So
if those remember those 90s compilation CDs or this is music, this is
now that's what I call country.
Yeah, this one would definitely be on it.
Yeah. Oh God, kids don't understand what it was like to have to get by all of your music on a CD.
But remember, those were the best. Like, you didn't have to buy a CD for one song.
Yeah, that's why everybody had like 800 CDs with like 3 good songs on it and like 9 crap songs, which was actually a better ratio than the average band that was coming out by then. You had 1, maybe 2 good songs to 9 or 10 crap songs. So yeah,
absolutely. Those CDs were actually, I just thought of this. It just came to me when you said kids. Those were the first playlists, right?
Yeah. I mean, well, as soon as we had CD recorders, I was doing stuff like mixtapes on CDs again.
Yeah.
And my car was filled with them. So
good times.
Good times, kids. Good times. Let's see. What did Mr. Tritt do with this song? Well, he did pretty damn well with it. It hit number 33 on the Billboard Hot 100, meaning he got a Casey Kasem countdown. I think Casey Kasem was still alive in 2000. And it hit number 2 on the country Billboard, which Casey didn't count down. I don't know that there was ever a country music countdown. I know I listened to it back then. Do you remember who did it?
I can't remember the host's name, but isn't that the one where they would always, like, Brooks and Dunn were always on it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Have,
American Country Countdown.
Yep, that's it.
That's the nice thing about recording a podcast like this is you can just Google it while you're sitting there while people are starting to throw their phones. So
Right.
But yeah, so that's respect. Look, breaking the top 40 for a country song is not something that's done easily, and it's not done often. Number 2 on the country Billboard is also, damn, that means you're making some money there. So
Yeah, absolutely. This song didn't win him any Grammys, though, did it?
no Grammys, no VMAs, no country
They came
music
later on,
awards.
correct? Travis Tritt does have a couple Grammys.
Yeah, let's see. I believe he does.
I think
He
they
might-
came a little later on when he
Steve-
was doing collabs with what was that guy's name, Dave? His buddy back in the 90s.
Marty
Stewart.
Marty Stewart. Yeah.
Yes.
Let's see. Oh God, he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Grammy, 9 Grammys.
Wow.
From 89 to 95, 92, 94, 93. Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, the man's got some Grammys under his belt. So, and this was all the TROUBLE and here's a quarter. Man, here's a quarter. That's a breakup song. That's going to be an episode in and of itself, but it is the breakup song
Oh, absolutely.
of pretty much everybody that I broke up with in the 90s, or more likely broke up with me. So, oh man. So here's the let's see. So yeah, the song, did it hit you? Do you have any recollections of hearing it for the first time, or did it just kind of blur into the background of Izmir, Turkey?
It did, yeah. So, yeah, I do remember hearing it for the first time in Izmir, Turkey. And then this is just one of those songs, right? Like, no matter when you hear it, it always takes you to a happy memory.
Yeah.
So, like, and I absolutely have it on a playlist, right? So, like, if I'm on a road trip or something, I love it when, this song comes on and it's sunny, right? And maybe you're driving and the view's awesome. And
yeah. It's one of those
songs, man. And how do you not sing out loud, right?
Yeah, and you've suddenly looked down and you're doing 95 and a 65 and you're just
you rolled the windows down and you're feeling it.
totally worth the ticket, man. Totally worth that ticket.
Yeah.
Every so often, especially during the past couple of years. I mean, I don't drive anymore. I let my driver's license lapse. I live in New York City. Where the fuck am I going to drive? All right. So, but every so often I think about Hamilton Smartsville Road outside of Beale, just that long straight loop with nobody on it that you can get out there and just crank the radio, roll the windows down, and just this is a driving song. Another category of songs that, again, podcast God's willing, we will get to in this silly ass podcast. So final question for this episode. Did you sing it?
Have I karaoke sung this song?
Yes.
Boy, more than likely, right? Never with you, which is unfortunate.
Well, no, we'd already crossed continents by that time. I mean,
Karaoke,
you were in Izmir and I was in a Walmart. So.
Not what you call good at karaoke, but yeah, I'm sure I've drunkenly grabbed a microphone and sang this song. How could you not, right?
I remember specifically singing it one time. It was here in New York City. I was working at a veterinary hospital at the time. Lord, folks, if we keep doing this, you're going to hear all sorts of stories about the many, many jobs I've had, none of which have been successful, but that's why I do a podcast. But I was singing it at a veterinary hospital Christmas party. And I got up there on the stage of the karaoke stage and just belted this song. And the whole crowd, I mean, and it was a crowd full of New Yorkers, not the traditional country music audience, but I had them singing, boy. I had them singing.
That's awesome.
It was a great time. If you sing this song at karaoke, you will get the crowd. And that's really what we all want when we sing karaoke in the first place, is we want the crowd to sing with us. And this is definitely one you're going to get.
Absolutely. It is a country music banger.
Oh my God. So that's the song. Let's take a couple of seconds to talk about what we want to see this podcast happen. Hopefully that you're going to listen and enjoy this, folks. But what do you see? First of all, you get to pick the next song. Got any thoughts?
Next song. Do we want to stick with the with this happy theme? Then I mean, obviously, we should probably do "Friends in Low Places," right?
Right. That's a biggie. I mean, I think that's a season finale song.
Okay. All right.
I don't know how many shows, but I'm thinking like 6 or 8 shows for a season, then break for research. Hey,
Let's do something by Dwight Yoakam.
oh, absolutely. You pick it. We'll do it.
Love it. Love it.
This is a brand new podcast. We're Jerrod and I are just trying this out. It's our first time podcasting together. I do another little podcast on the side. It's called What the Hell Are You Thinking? It has nothing to do with country music, though it does reference it quite a bit because, it's a big part of my life. And
if you're listening to this, you should be listening to that. It's a great show.
Chances are, if you're listening to that, it's because you're listening to that. So our plan is to pick a song like we've done here with Travis and Great Day to Be Alive, and just dig down into it, tell you a little bit about it, talk about our experience with it. As if we're successful and time goes along, we're going to have more people come on and they're going to talk about their songs and their experiences with it. I know some musicians out there that have volunteered to say, hey, when our band sang this song, we're really hoping that we can put this together and see if we can come up with something that people enjoy. And if not, well, fuck them. We'll have a good time anyway. So
I agree.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the very experimental first episode. They're always a little rocky and a little rough, but you know what? It sounded all right to me. And after all,
that houses the souls of two foul-mouthed rednecks.
I didn't get to play my country music drops, man.
Country music sucks.
Because I personify outlaw country.
There's going to be more of those, folks. I'll develop a nice drop repertoire that everybody will love and enjoy. Oh my God! So I'll tell you what, I think we're hitting the mark that I'm ready to pack it in and sign it off. So for me, Dave Bledsoe, and for you,
Jerrod Trott.
This here's been the Dowers Boys, y'all.
Because I personify outlaw country.
The Dowers Boys is hosted by Dave Bledsoe and Jerrod Trott and is produced in association with the Seltzer Kings Podcast Network, Fast Eddie's Podcast Hut, and the Bill Drinking Federation. It is produced in part by Gavin St. James and Dave Bledsoe. And if y'all got a suggestion for a song for them Dowers Boys to talk about, you can find us out at themdowersboys.com and all the social medias at Them Dowers Boys. Y'all, thanks for listening.